So now that I've got my armature, let's paper mache over it. So to paper mache, I'm using what's called art paste. It's kind of like a clear glue, but you could also use stuff like flour and water. And I'm going to dip newspaper strips in there and then kind of grab onto it with 2 fingers and just kind of pull most of that glue right off of it. So I just have a soaking strip of paper. And then I'm going to wrap that paper around different parts of my armature, different parts of my figure. And I'm just going to keep doing that over and over and over again until I cover my entire person. Now, you want to put it on pretty smoothly. The smoother, the better. It's easier to paint it when it's on smooth, and we are going to paint these later. Taking a little bit more time here will really just make the difference between excellent art and okay art. I am getting newspaper over 100% of my tinfoil. I shouldn't see any tinfoil at the end. So this stuff is going to dry and harden, and then our sculptures will stay in the same position they're in, and we can paint over the newspaper. Now we want to cover 100% of this. That means no tinfoil should be seen at all. So even like the ends of the feet, the ends of the hands, the top of the head, that kind of stuff all needs to be covered. You can rip up smaller pieces of newspaper if that's easier for you to cover your armature with. Now remember, if you don't have the art paste, you could also use a mixture of flour and water. It's a little bit messier. That's why I like using the art paste. Or you could use something like liquid starch, or even just glue and water works too. But I really like this art paste. I think it's the easiest to work with. As you finish it, right when you're done, you want to make sure you're putting your armature in the correct pose and the correct gesture that you want it to dry in, because that's what it will dry. It's okay to kind of move around your armature at this point. Sometimes I move the arm up so I can get, into the armpit or something if there's a little bit of tinfoil showing. But after you've got it completely covered, we're just going to set it up somewhere exactly like you want it to dry. Because once it dries, it will become stiff and you won't be able to move it anymore. When you get it completely covered by the newspaper and you set it up exactly like you want it to dry, I usually leave it overnight. In the next step, once it's dry, we'll paint it.